Welcome to my channel, where we delve into the hidden stories of history. Today we're about to unveil the top 10 historical events that school forgot to teach you, revealing the extraordinary and lesser-known chapters of our past. Get ready to be captivated by the secrets of history. But before we begin, make sure to hit that like button, also subscribe to my channel. 1. The Taiping Rebellion, 1850 to 1864. The Taiping Rebellion, which raged in China from 1850 to 1864, was one of the deadliest civil wars in human history. It was led by Hong Xiuquan, a charismatic figure who believed he was the younger brother of Jesus Christ, and founded the Taiping Heavenly Kingdom with the aim of overthrowing the Qing dynasty. This rebellion was rooted in a complex mix of social, economic, and religious factors, and it ultimately resulted in the deaths of an estimated 20 to 30 million people, making it one of the most devastating conflicts of the 19th century. The rebel forces, known as the Taiping Heavenly Army, captured major cities and regions, creating a parallel state in southern China and shaking the Qing dynasty's rule to its core. 2. The Great Emu War, 1932. The Great Emu War of 1932 was a somewhat comical and unusual event in Australian history. It arose from a genuine problem, an overpopulation of emus in Western Australia, particularly in the wheat-growing regions. These flightless birds were causing significant damage to crops, and farmers were suffering financial losses. In response, the government decided to deploy military forces to tackle the emu population. The operation, however, turned into a humorous fiasco. Soldiers, armed with 2 Lewis machine guns and 10,000 rounds of ammunition, attempted to hunt down the emus. But the emus proved to be elusive and agile, making them difficult targets. The soldiers' efforts were largely ineffective, and the emu population continued to wreak havoc on crops. 3. The Battle of Schrute Farms, 1938. The Battle of Schrute Farms is a fictitious event that occurs in the American television series The Office. The show, created by Greg Daniels, is a mockumentary-style sitcom that humorously portrays the lives and dynamics of the employees at the Dunder Mifflin Paper Company. The Battle of Schrute Farms takes place in Season 4, Episode 3, titled Launch Party. In this episode, the character Dwight Schrute, who runs the Schrute family beet farm, organizes a grand opening celebration for his family's new bed and breakfast, Schrute Farms, on the same day as the launch of Dunder Mifflin's new website. The battle in this context is entirely figurative, as it involves the humorous rivalry and conflict between the employees of Dunder Mifflin who attend the event. 4. The Great Molasses Flood, 1919. The Great Molasses Flood of 1919 is a tragic and bizarre event that occurred in Boston, Massachusetts. It is often referred to as one of the most unusual disasters in American history. The incident occurred on January 15, 1919, when a massive tank containing over 2 million gallons of molasses, which was used to produce ethanol for World War I, suddenly ruptured. This catastrophic failure sent a tidal wave of molasses, approximately 15 feet high, moving at speeds of up to 35 miles per hour, surging through the streets of Boston's North End. The result was devastating. The molasses wave demolished buildings, overturned vehicles, and trapped people in the sticky substance. A total of 21 people were killed, and around 150 others were injured. 5. The Tanganyika Laughter Epidemic, 1962. The Tanganyika Laughter Epidemic, also known as the Tanganyika Laughter Outbreak, was a fascinating and mysterious event that occurred in 1962 in the small village of Kashasha in what is now Tanzania. This unusual episode involved an outbreak of contagious laughter that initially began with 3 schoolgirls at a mission-run boarding school. The laughter quickly spread to other students, eventually affecting about 95 of the 159 students in the school. As the laughter continued to infect more individuals, it led to a chain reaction that even caused neighboring villages to be affected. The epidemic was so disruptive that it led to the temporary closure of 14 schools in the region as authorities struggled to contain the situation. 6. Operation Paul Bunyan, 1976. Operation Paul Bunyan, which took place in 1976, was a highly tense and dramatic mission undertaken by the United States and South Korea in the Korean Demilitarized Zone, DMZ. At the center of this operation was a massive poplar tree, which had grown to obstruct the line of sight between United Nations Command, UNC, and North Korean guard posts. The presence of this tree had been a source of tension for years, and in August 1976, it led to a violent incident when 2 U.S. Army officers and 4 South Korean soldiers were killed by North Korean troops while attempting to trim the tree. In response to this violent incident, the UNC decided to remove the tree, and they did so with unprecedented force. On August 21, 1976, a massive operation was launched, involving a convoy of military vehicles and personnel from the US and South Korea. 7. The Battle of Itter, 1945. The Battle of Itter, which took place on May 5, 1945, near the end of World War II, is indeed a remarkable and unusual episode in history. It occurred in the Austrian village of Itter, where a group of American soldiers, accompanied by recently freed French prisoners of war, found themselves defending a castle against a common enemy, the Waffen-SS, who were still loyal to Nazi Germany. The castle served as a makeshift prison for high-profile French prisoners, including former French prime ministers, generals, and other prominent figures. When the regular German army retreated from the area, the SS decided to attack the castle and execute the prisoners, the American soldiers who had been on a reconnaissance mission. 8. The Siege of Leningrad, 1941 to 1944. The Siege of Leningrad, which lasted from 1941 to 1944 during World War II, was one of the most tragic and brutal sieges in history. Leningrad, now known as St. Petersburg, was a key city in the Soviet Union and a major target for the German forces during their invasion of the USSR. The siege began on September 8, 1941, when German forces, along with Finnish and Hungarian allies, encircled the city and cut off all supply routes. This blockade lasted for 872 days, making it one of the longest and deadliest sieges in history. During the siege, Leningrad's inhabitants endured unimaginable suffering. Food and other essential supplies grew scarce, and the city's residents faced starvation, extreme cold, and constant shelling and bombings. 9. The Tunguska Event, 1908. The Tunguska Event, which occurred on June 30, 1908, in a remote area of Siberia, Russia, was a massive explosion that is believed to have been caused by the airburst of a meteoroid or comet in Earth's atmosphere. The explosion was so powerful that it flattened an estimated 2,150 square kilometers, 830 square miles, of Siberian forest. The event is named after the Tunguska River, near the explosion's epicenter, which is situated in a sparsely populated region of Siberia. The blast from the Tunguska Event released an estimated energy equivalent to 10 to 15 megatons of TNT, making it one of the most powerful natural explosions in recorded history. 10. The Petrov Affair, 1954. The Petrov Affair, which unfolded in 1954, was a pivotal and highly dramatic episode of the Cold War. It centered around Vladimir Petrov, a high-ranking KGB officer, and his wife, Avdotia Petrov, who worked as a supper clerk in the Soviet embassy in Australia. In April 1954, Vladimir Petrov made the extraordinary decision to defect to Australia, seeking political asylum. He brought with him a trove of secret documents that exposed extensive Soviet espionage activities in Australia and other Western countries. The Petrov defection was a significant coup for Western intelligence agencies, as it provided valuable insights into Soviet espionage operations and the identities of Soviet agents operating in various parts of the world. If you found this video as intriguing as we did, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe for more engaging content, and share your thoughts in the comments below. Thanks for watching.